What happens when two middle schoolers win big, start a snack shack, and find themselves tangled in crushes, chaos, and cash? Let's find out. AJ and Moose were two middle schoolers who got themselves into trouble during a school field trip. They slipped away from the group and somehow ended up at a dog racing track. Feeling bold, they decided to gamble their allowance. After watching the races for a while, they put their money on the white dog number 2. To their surprise, the dog won, and they walked away with a decent chunk of cash. Because they stayed too long celebrating, they missed their ride back. The taxi that was supposed to take them had waited and eventually left. Not knowing what else to do, they paid a random guy to drive them back to the school's meeting point. By the time they arrived, their teacher was furious, having waited nearly an hour. Their classmates were annoyed too and made fun of them on the bus. But AJ and Moose didn't really care. They were too busy thinking about the money they had just won. Later that afternoon, AJ went over to Moose's house. The two of them started messing around trying to make their own beer. When they tasted it, they couldn't believe how good it was. It tasted like expensive, high-end beer. Convinced they had struck gold, they started dreaming about getting rich from selling it someday. To celebrate their winnings, they bought themselves brand new shoes. When AJ got home, they sat down to eat, but it didn't take long for trouble to catch up with them. AJ's parents found out about what happened earlier that day. They had received reports saying AJ and Moose were caught smoking and gambling at the dog races. They reminded the boys that they were only 14 and still depended on their parents for money. Moose got nervous seeing how angry AJ's parents were and quickly ran home. Despite the scolding, the two didn't really learn their lesson. Later, they were seen hanging out on the roof, smoking cigarettes together. That same day, a beautiful girl named Brooke moved into the house next door. AJ noticed her immediately and couldn't stop thinking about her. The next day, AJ and Moose were walking back from the supermarket, talking about their future business plans, when their classmate Randy suddenly dumped water on them. Randy was their longtime enemy, and the three were always pulling pranks on each other. After Randy left, an old friend of AJ's named Shane showed up. AJ was happy to see him. Shane was older, like a big brother to them, and had just returned from serving overseas as a soldier. The three walked together, talking and catching up. Before deciding to stop by the city swimming pool, Shane had taken a summer job there as a lifeguard. Since the pool wasn't open yet and no one was around, Shane invited them in for a swim. Inside, they noticed the snack stand was empty. Shane explained that the pool would open the following week and stay open through summer, but the snack stand hadn't been rented yet. Since the pool was government-owned, Shane suggested they check with the mayor's office. An auction for the stand was scheduled in a couple of days. The next morning, AJ was being punished by mowing the lawn when Brooke came over. AJ, who had pollen allergies, kept sneezing nonstop in front of her. Brooke found it funny and took a picture of him. That evening, AJ and Moose met the men who had rented the snack stand the previous year. They said the rent had been $3,000, but warned the boys not to bother bidding since they were close with the mayor. AJ and Moose didn't back down. At home, they planned everything out. Moose was sure the pool would be packed and that their homemade beer would sell like crazy. He convinced AJ to use his savings to win the auction, promising to pay him back later. After some hesitation, AJ agreed. The next day, they rushed to the bank and withdrew all the money from AJ's savings account. They ran straight to the mayor's office and shocked everyone by dropping a briefcase full of $33,000 on the table. The committee immediately declared them the winners, while everyone else laughed quietly. That's when the boys realized something was wrong. The actual rent the year before had only been $300. Their money was gone and couldn't be refunded. When AJ got home, his parents were furious. The bank had called, questioning why such a large amount was withdrawn. The money had been meant for college and car payments. Soon after, Moose's father also called, revealing the boys had been making alcohol. Moose's dad threw all the beer away and made it clear they were too young to drink or sell it. AJ's mom later told him he should stop acting out and consider joining the army. AJ felt ashamed and guilty. The next morning, AJ and Moose went to see the snack stand. It was filthy and falling apart. They still needed equipment, food, and supplies, and the pool was opening soon. With almost no money left, they tried everything to earn cash. They sold chocolates, offered painting services, and sold old junk. One evening, Brooke returned the photo she had taken of AJ. She introduced herself properly and mentioned she was only visiting for the summer. She asked if AJ knew of any summer jobs. AJ suggested she check out the pool. The next day, Brooke met Shane and was trained as a lifeguard. Because they were short-staffed, she got hired. That night, AJ visited Shane, who talked about plans to travel to Alaska. Shane invited AJ to join him. AJ agreed. and promised himself he would start working hard and saving money. Still short on cash, AJ, Moose, and Shane ended up gambling with Randy in a poker game. AJ, drunk and reckless, bet everything. Randy was confident he'd won, but when the cards were revealed, AJ had the better hand. Against all odds, AJ won. The next morning, AJ woke up and suddenly remembered that the swimming pool was opening that day. He had overslept and still felt groggy and a little hungover. He dragged himself along the road, wishing he could crawl back into bed. When he arrived at the snack shack, Moose was there, looking cheerful. AJ was confused. If the shack was still closed, why was it so noisy outside? Moose explained that they were the only stand at the pool, so every visitor would need to buy from them. Sure enough, by the end of the day, everything was sold out. AJ and Moose were thrilled. They had already made back their initial investment, and Moose shared the remaining profits with a big smile. Back at home, AJ found himself constantly looking out his bedroom window at Brooke. He was completely smitten. The next morning, when he arrived at the shack, he saw Moose chatting with her. Brooke had come to say hi to AJ, but he hadn't gotten there yet. Moose told AJ that he had invited Brooke to go swimming that night, and that AJ should come along because Brooke would bring her cousin. It became clear that Moose liked Brooke, which made AJ feel a little jealous. That evening at the pool, seeing Moose and Brooke close together, AJ couldn't help but feel a pang of envy. The next day, Moose excused himself to talk to Brooke, planning to make his move. AJ's jealousy grew, but he felt helpless since Brooke wasn't his girlfriend. When two kids came up to order hot dogs, AJ accidentally let his frustration slip. While squirting sauce on their hot dogs, he spelled out a rude word. Soon, more kids followed, asking for hot dogs with the same word. The shack got crowded fast, and AJ's small mistake actually ended up drawing more business. Day by day, AJ's savings grew steadily. Even though his crush on Brooke was causing him heartache, his friendship with Moose remained strong. One afternoon, Randy came to the shack to buy a hot dog, and he and AJ got into a heated argument. They almost came to blows, but Shane showed up, broke it up, and even gave Randy a good scolding. That evening, after the shack closed, AJ and Moose split their earnings. On the way home, Randy and his friends ambushed them, leaving both boys roughed up. When AJ finally made it home, Brooke called out to him from her house, asking for help painting her toenails. They spent some time together, and Brooke reassured AJ that Moose was just a fun friend, not her type. She hinted that her heart already belonged to someone else, but AJ completely missed the hint. Before dinner, AJ surprised his parents by returning the money he had taken from his college savings, even adding an extra $100. He had also bought 2 VIP tickets for them to see their favorite band, making sure they'd be comfortable. Seeing this, his parents were deeply moved and even teared up. That night, Moose called to hang out, but AJ declined, wanting to rest. Brooke then tossed a pebble at his window, inviting him out. AJ agreed, and the two went for a walk. Halfway through, Shane drove by and invited them to a party at an abandoned movie theater. With nowhere else to go, AJ and Brooke joined. While they were talking, Moose suddenly showed up, looking disappointed. Before anyone could explain, the police raided the place. Everyone panicked, but AJ, Brooke, and Moose managed to hide behind a movie screen and avoid being caught. The next morning at the shack, AJ and Moose were quiet, still upset about the previous night. Shane came by and quickly realized they were fighting over a girl. He gave AJ some advice. It's normal to compete for someone's attention, but friendship comes first. Shane also hinted that Brooke liked AJ and encouraged him to be bolder. That night, Shane invited AJ to a party at his house and suggested he confess his feelings to Brooke there. Feeling confident, AJ finally told Brooke how he felt. She was happy he had caught on, but just as they shared a kiss, Moose walked in. Heartbroken, Moose left, and AJ tried to explain, but Moose refused to listen. AJ returned to the party only to see Brooke talking with another guy. Heartbroken, he went straight home. The next morning, he saw Brooke leaving in a car with the same guy. AJ realized she was not serious about him and felt sad that his friendship with Moose was strained because of her. Feeling restless, he went to the shack, only to find it in a mess. Moose blamed it on Rye and suggested they work in shifts to avoid seeing each other. AJ sighed, but agreed. The next day, Brooke came by to invite AJ for ice cream, offering to treat him. Coldly, AJ refused. That evening, Shane suggested they go camping by the lake to relax. While sitting by the water, Shane asked about AJ's fight with Brooke, and AJ explained everything. Shane laughed and revealed that the guy Brooke was with was actually her older brother. AJ felt both relieved and embarrassed. The following day, AJ apologized to Brooke, but she was still distant, and he accepted that she was upset. Moose had the next shift, so AJ took the day off. While mowing the lawn, Shane stopped by, giving AJ an early birthday gift and encouraging him to make up with Brooke. He reminded AJ that girls eventually come around. AJ felt better and watched Shane leave for a trip out of town. Not long after, Brooke came over to make amends. AJ invited her into his room since his parents weren't home. Suddenly, his father returned and caught them. Surprisingly, he wasn't angry. He had important news to share. Shane had been in a serious car accident and passed away. AJ was devastated. The next afternoon, AJ saw Brooke packing her things. Her father had been called to duty, and they had to move to Germany immediately. AJ's heart broke again. As a memento, Brooke gave him a handkerchief and a printed photo of him and Shane. After a tearful goodbye, she left. AJ then sat with his father, who allowed him to drink beer for the first time. They watched the sunset together, sharing a quiet moment. The next morning, AJ arrived at the shack to open it and found Moose already there. Moose was sad about Shane and Brooke, but he tried to cheer AJ up. The two friends reconciled, and their friendship was as strong as ever. They made a pact. Once summer ended and the pool closed, they wouldn't stop trying new businesses until they finally succeeded and became rich.